Welcome to the launch episode of the School Garden Podcast with Mary Jo Green and Ann Santana. In this episode, you'll get to know the hosts a little bit better, learn about the format of the program, and listen to some really cute kid questions. We're really excited you're here, and let's get started.
Hello.
It's happening.
It's happening.
Our launch episode.
Our launch episode. And welcome to the School Garden Podcast with Mary Jo Green
And Ann Santana.
And like Ann said, this is our launch episode. Welcome along. Happy to have you with us. So we really are school gardeners. We're school gardeners that are based here in North Texas in the Fort Worth area. We also do a great deal of supporting school garden educators, which we find increasingly important, which is kind of why it's led to this podcast.
Right.
Really. We see hundreds of school garden educators now in various different schools and various different gardens, and just helping them, support them in their school garden programs or school garden spaces, even in their classrooms.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, I'm going to introduce myself. I came to the US about 10 years ago from the United Kingdom, from Yorkshire. Anybody knows? I'm from just outside Rotherham, Wath-upon-Dearne, actually. Shout out to Wath-upon-Dearne as well. And I came here with my family. I brought two elementary school children with me as well, and come from a very gardening rich background, you know.
Mm-hmm.
As those of you know, in England we garden. Garden is a huge part of day-to-day life. It's a huge hobby. People take utter pride in their spaces outdoors as well, and that filters into schools too. So the way that the school curriculum, the school day is, it lends itself much more to being outside, more recess time, that kind of thing as well, and actually having gardening incorporated into schools, you know. So I was oh, thunder!
I know.
We need to mention that because in North Texas, rain.
It means we don't have to water for a week.
That does.
Love it.
And we're very happy about that. And I think talking about England and then it thunders, I mean, come on.
Perfect
as well. So there we go. So yes, I come from that kind of background. So I came here and it's very, very different. A very different climate, a very different school day structure as well. So many reasons as to why it doesn't happen as well. So thus started the school garden journey. So I started about 8 years ago, just at a little preschool. I was just hired to maintain it for starters. And then the school garden program kind of naturally developed, you know, and then onwards as more campuses became involved and you got, you know, more and more integrated into the growing community and the space and things like that, and developed more and more kind of relationships and programs out there into schools. Currently, you know, kind of involved in about nearly 30 different school gardens here in Fort Worth, which is an absolute joy, and over into Arlington too. Yeah, honestly, just so charmed and so you know, so lucky really to do what we do. Anne, tell us about you and your garden journey.
First of all, I love gardening. I've been doing it all my life. I taught for a few years and then began to work at Texas Christian University on a National Science Foundation grant dedicated to math and science education. Then I moved on to the Fort Worth Museum of Science and History, where I worked for 25 years supporting educators, creating great experiences for them on their field trips, leading professional development, and creating exhibition spaces for children and adults. As many of us did during COVID, I had to make a career pivot and found myself working at an elementary school focused on gardening and outdoor education. And from there, it's just expanded. I now work with Mary Jo, and our goal is to help teachers. And that's one of the reasons for this podcast.
And I think the real important point of it is that we really are to support. We know that school gardening isn't easy. We know that probably you're taking this on as an extra duty on top of maybe already a full-time teaching kind of position, or we know that you aren't the dedicated school garden educator possibly in your school, and that this is very much, and maybe this is very new to you as well. Mm-hmm. Maybe you aren't actually a gardener, but it's something that you hope to develop in your own teaching practice as well. And we're absolutely here to help you with that. We've been there. It's not school gardens aren't easy, but they are so rewarding, and we're just absolutely thrilled to be able to help you along the way. Also, Anne, we have an email address.
Excitingly.
Exactly, we do. And it is podcast@madegreen, green with an E on the end.com. And we'd love to hear from you. Tell us your story, ask us some questions. We'd love to hear from you as well. So Anne, give us a bit of an idea about the format of the podcast.
Sure. So our format is all around the idea of we'd love for teachers to be able to listen to us either on the way to work or on the way home about what to do in their school garden.
Yeah.
Every other week, we'll release an episode about something to plant in the garden, or something to think about if you're starting a school garden. And we want to support you as best we can. So the episodes will be timely, coming out 3 to 4 weeks before you would plant something to give you time to get that together. And also will be short enough that you can enjoy on a drive.
So to help us get to know us a little bit more, we have our students have written us a couple of questions.
Oh my God.
I know, this is a surprise to Anne. Anne does not know about this. So we see a lot of kids. So sometimes during the very busy season in the fall, maybe busy going season in spring, fall and spring here is just glorious times, and which fits perfectly in with school garden timetable. The school gardens is that we see a lot of kids. We see a lot of kids. Sometimes we can see combined up to 1,000 children kind of thing, which is a lot.
We know all of their names.
We do. We know all of their quirks. And and they've written some questions.
Oh my gosh.
So
hilarious.
there we go. So I asked them to write 3 and they've written 4 because all right. So Anne, you go first.
So here are questions they wrote for Mary Jo. I love this. What vegetable from England that you can't grow here in Texas do you miss?
Oh gosh, I very much miss growing and eating fresh rhubarb that's grown in the garden. And it's so simple. And in Yorkshire, the very damp kind of conditions of it, it's just perfect for growing rhubarb. It's wonderful. It's like a perennial. It's a perennial, comes out year on year and easily divided. It's fabulous. I would say it was very similar to globe artichokes, which I know you enjoy growing.
I do. They come back every year.
Every year and just more and more spectacular. So I really miss that.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, and for you, so along a similar line, actually. So, Anne, if you had to go and live in a cold place, what vegetable or fruit would you miss not being able to grow?
First of all, I'd love to live in a cold place. Secondly, I would miss the joy of tomatoes. Here in Texas, I start them in January inside. They grow until the first frost, which hasn't happened this year. So literally for 9 months, they've been growing. So I love that you can get so many seasons and start over. And I do love them.
I know.
So they're my favorite.
I know. And guys, we're recording this at the end of December, a couple of days after Christmas, and still tomatoes. We haven't had the freeze that's killed off the tomato plant, so they're still spewing out, which I think is marvelous. So
I know.
There we go.
Okay, here's your next question. What is your favorite part of teaching garden things?
Oh my God, things. Love that. Yeah, 5th grade things. Just covers it all. Okay, I really enjoy watching kids put a seed in the ground and utterly doubt that anything is going to happen. Yes. Absolutely, look at us as if to say, "Yeah, nice try," and then actually see it come and become the vegetable it becomes into. And carrots, we adore growing carrots for kids, don't we?
Do.
And as well, but watching the kid look at that tiniest little seed, and then genuinely at the end of the growing season, they get a carrot. I just love that. I get really impressed by that. I'm still thrilled to bits that this seed is going to become this. It is magic. It genuinely is magic. And that, I think, is my favourite part.
I love that.
So this goes along to you as well, Anne. It says, what is your favourite subject to teach in the garden?
Oh, I love the sciencey aspect of gardening. I know.
And it's so funny. And all our kids, they know that Anne it's garden science.
We love it. So this year I'm making myself love insects. It's an important topic in the garden. I think they're really scary.
They are.
And the metamorphosis is so crazy, but I'm making myself love them because they are so important to our garden and to what kids need to learn.
Yeah, I think that's so great. And it really is, this is education for life, isn't it? What they learn now, they will take it with them throughout their whole lives in their homes and with their children and families in the future. And that's not, and insects is a big part. Let's just not spray everything to death.
Exactly.
So, so well done, Anne, for conquering that.
Facing your fears. All right, so number 3, you always say that you can't say you don't like something unless you try it. What vegetables do you not like to eat? In parentheses, this is from Braden, who you may eat kale.
Well done, Braden. He did, and he enjoyed it. We made kale chips. So in my defence, Braden, I beg your pardon, actually genuinely enjoyed the kale as well. Oh gosh, you know what? And this goes back to your favourite thing, is that I do not like tomatoes. I don't like them. They're just texture and they're shiny and then they're wobbly and then there's pips and I really can't. And people have tried to cure me,
but I won't try.
Heirloom ones and purple ones and this one and No, sorry.
Oh.
Tomatoes.
Do you even grow them?
I grow them brilliantly, and I think the tomato knows it's in no danger of being eaten. So yeah, that's the thing. The one thing that will every year will be a success is tomatoes. And I'm like, it's kind of like the tomato. Yeah, tomato. Me and the tomato have
Wow.
issues.
There you go.
Yeah, still
Now
like
here's
them.
the fourth question. You know, you
Okay.
do three.
Oh, I think I've got a third one for you.
Who is your favorite student?
Oh,
And that's nice. They answered it themselves.
okay.
They said me.
Oh, okay. Favorite students, all of them. All of them.
What
All
a
of
good
them.
answer. What a good teacher
I
answer.
know. I think I've got question number 3 for you.
Oh, I missed it. Sorry, I got so excited.
Why do you like doing gardening in schools?
Oh, that's a good question. I know that we're creating gardeners for life.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I enjoy the most is of all the topics they may go through in elementary school, they're learning something that they can have as a hobby the rest of their lives. And they can remember that they learned it in a little school in elementary school. And so that's my favorite part.
Yeah, that is really neat. And when we have a, kind of high school, or we get interns that come to see us, or we get people, they come back and they go, oh my gosh, I remember this when I was at school. We grew this at school. Even that dreadful lima bean in the Ziploc bag on the window, which
don't get me started.
I know, don't get me started. Yeah, do get me started about that. But that's just, those are real memories for kids, aren't they? So this is deep. It's valuable. It's impactful, and it's the right thing to do in schools. As our good friend of ours, Ray, shout out to Ray, he just says to me the whole time, he just goes, Mary Jo, it's the right thing to do.
Exactly.
As well. And then question number 4 for you. Question 3 of 3 questions is that who is your favourite student?
Did they answer it themselves?
They did. They said me.
Nice. Wonderful.
With exclamation
point. Oh, great. Love the speed round. Those are great questions.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So that's really what it is. We just love teaching kids in the garden. We're all about teaching kids the garden, and we're all about supporting people who also love teaching kids in the garden too. So thanks a million for joining us, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe and share us with a friend. Special thanks to Ben Green for the music and all our student contributors. As always, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at madegreen with an E, or visit us at our website, www.madegreenwithane.com. Detail of today's shows and other resources are in our show notes. Any proceeds from any affiliate links shared help fund our school garden programs. We look forward to seeing you next time on the School Garden Podcast.